And with that, we welcome you in to Week 9 of the 2025 NFL preseason. Good morning, friends. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, as we will evaluate rookie quarterbacks and we will evaluate guys returning for eons and eons and eons. I can't wait. I tell you what, I can't wait for Saturday night. Fernando Mendoza and Dante Moore. Oregon, Indiana. It's going to be a doozy. Something's got to dig me out of this. Did you ever wonder if you might have died in like 2000? What year did they go 10-7 and miss the playoffs? What year was that? Was that 7?
2007.
Yes. Do you think you might have died in like 2008 and then the rest is just your penance is searching for a quarterback? Do you ever wonder that?
I never have.
Not that Joe Flacco was that quarterback. Don't get me wrong. This is perplexing on a multitude of ways here. Now, I know I said a lot to you on the phone yesterday, and I had more time to think after it because what's leading what? What is the plan? Do you have a plan? If they have a plan, what is the plan? Do you know what their plan is? And if you do have an idea, please tell. Other than we're just going to evaluate quarterback. It seems to be, Anthony, and maybe you want to do Champions Pose, it seems to be where they decided to do what you said years ago. And you said this in exasperation, by the way, I think. Because you say a lot of, crazy things. You say a lot you said this in exasperation where, hey, let's just draft a quarterback every single draft pick. And then we'll just play quarterbacks and we'll figure it out. And you should just throw a quarterback out there. And damn it, I think they're going to do that. I think there's a guy waking up today going to a workout somewhere in America. And he doesn't know it yet, but he's going to play for the Cleveland Browns this season at quarterback. I don't know who that is. It's morning in America, and somewhere some man is waking up, going on a workout, and at some point here in the near future, he's going to get a call from his agent. Guess what? What are you doing around Thanksgiving? Well, I got to baste the turkey. No, you're not. You're getting on a flight. Congratulations. You're going to play for the Cleveland Browns. You've wasted a preseason. The 4 quarterback thing was a total waste. I couldn't help but ask, after this last game, you barely threw the ball at all. You barely threw the ball down the field with Dylan Gabriel. So that told me that you definitely did not want to start Dylan Gabriel when you started Dylan Gabriel.
That was my take, too.
You believe fully that Joe Flacco is out of gas. That's why you were willing to trade away Joe Flacco, which, by the way, there is a very, very, very nice silver lining for fans here that I'm going to get to in just a second about trading Joe Flacco. You traded him to a team you've never made a trade with. Well, you tried to once. Thanks, Sashi. You trade him to a team you've never traded with. And my thought was on Monday and Tuesday, why didn't they just keep Kenny Pickett if we're going to do this? If they're not comfortable yet, I got Daniel Jones, who I told you was a glorified running back. He's throwing the ball all over the place and looking great. Sam Darnold and Baker just had a shootout. Sam's looking good. Geno's a little bit rough. We'll find out Kenny Pickett soon enough, I guess. And I just thought, well, with all these retreads starting to find new life, why didn't we just decide to, I don't know. Guys, I'm not the world's biggest Kenny Pickett fan, but if we're just going to say what the hell and give it a whirl, why don't we just say what the hell and give it a whirl with Kenny? So you've wasted a preseason. We will play Dion. We'll play Coach Prime coming up at 6:23. I want you guys to hear that on the rejoin, because I think if he's done with the Browns, if he's really done with the Browns, or he's just talking his own version of coach speak, I got to agree with him, and I will tell you why coming up at 6:23. But you had Joe Flacco start the season. You jettisoned him, so clearly the whole attempt to get the veterans going, that's out the window. Okay, goodbye. You had Kenny Pickett already gone, even though you clearly wanted to start him to begin the year. That didn't work out because of a hamstring injury, of all things. You have a guy who you had throwing to ball boys less than 2 months ago, and now he, on your unofficial depth chart on your game release, he's listed as the number 2 QB. Now, I got to tell you guys, don't come after me. I don't want to tell you the bad news altogether, and I'm sorry, I'm taking a lot of air out of the room, and I'm going to turn my mic off here in just a second, Tone. I'm sorry. Rap Sheet had written and Pelissero had written, on Sunday that they want to give Shedeur a full week to get ready. So it still leads me to believe that, yeah, I know what that depth chart looks like. I may hope, because I like Shedeur. I want to see what anybody has. But I would probably think that Bailey Zappi will still end up being put on your active roster, and then he will be the primary backup for this football team if you had to break the glass and go to somebody to finish a football game. None of this goes anywhere to making any sense at all. Okay, I'm sorry. I've spoken too much.
Hold on. You think Zappi will be installed as the backup once he's on the roster? Mm-hmm. Whoa, people are going to lose their minds if that's the case.
I know.
And remember, we had Ross Tucker on the afternoon a couple of weeks ago, and he's like, "Oh, if you really want Shedeur to succeed, you don't want him to be the backup right now." So that was only 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. So unless Shedeur...
was that 2 weeks ago or last week? I thought it was last week.
Was it last week?
I thought it was. Maybe I'm wrong. He might have said it both weeks for all I know. But people are going to be mad, and because I tweeted, and there were a lot of people right after they put out the depth chart on their game notes that, well, Shedeur's number 2, and I go, yeah, I know, because Bailey's not actually on the roster. And I think they're probably going to make a move, put him on the active roster. He'll be the primary backup to Dylan Gabriel. And eventually Shedeur is going to get his shot, but they're going to go a whole week, because making him the backup and putting him in a different offense, as they have put out there to Pelissero and Rap Sheet, who have written about it, that tells me that no, he's not going to come in a break unless Bailey Zappi were to then go down. Like, it's not what I advocate for, guys. I don't think Bailey Zappi has any future with this football team. I'd love to see what Shedeur Sanders has, but I think that's what they're going to do.
Kenny, what did we all say when we were playing schedule game, when we were looking at what it was likely going to be? We all said gauntlet of a schedule to start out the year, correct? Yeah. We all said that?
Yeah.
Didn't most people, if you would have asked after 5 games, didn't most people say, 1-4? And if things go right, 2-3.
Uh-huh.
Isn't that what most people said? So that part of this cannot have shocked them, that this is their record, especially starting all the rookies that they're starting. Guys, it's been an awesome rookie class. These guys all would not start on most teams on game 1. They just wouldn't. Like, Pittsburgh's had a bunch of good rookies that they've drafted over the years that does not start week 1 because when they were really humming and everything, because they were really good. We're starting the rookies instantaneously because of the roster setup, because you had more holes than ever after last year. And your salary cap was where it was at.
I listened yesterday to Albert Breer. I totally agreed with what Albert said. And sometimes I disagree, based on theory and things like that. But I thought he hit it out of the park yesterday on Afternoon Drive. You can go back and listen to that, 923thefan.com. He said, you are seeing the ramifications of the 3 first-round draft picks you lost. But also, I do believe that there is quality with these players. Yeah, and he said there is a difference between, hey, we're not going to be good, the rookies are going to get snaps. There's a difference between playing the rookies, getting the snaps, and seeing guys that you know already you want to sign.
Like Dylan Sampson,
I think there's probably 3 guys at least you want to sign and make long-term Cleveland Browns.
Oh, sure. But like Dylan Sampson would not have started on most NFL teams week 1.
He wouldn't have started week 1 on this team if it weren't for Quinton Judkins.
That's what I mean. Then he got all those touches. Everyone's like, whoa, Dylan Sampson. It's like, yeah, I mean, this wouldn't have happened anywhere else. Like, it just showed you the state of the Browns. Like, we were not expecting to truly win.
I think it showed you the state of the Browns offense. Yeah,
certainly. We were not truly expecting to win a ton of games.
You're right.
Right off the bat. So 1-4 is, I think, even the most delusional homer cheerleader Browns fans were like, 1-4 is probably what they are. So,
are you calling me a delusional cheerleader homer Browns fan? Because I
kind of said 1-4. I remember
leading up. Yeah, but I said leading up to the. I didn't know at the beginning of the season we would start. I'll admit that, but I went from 6 wins to. Oh God.
You were excitable.
No, the fans got mad because they said that we weren't rah-rahing enough the week before, and I got upset, and then I started to talk myself into it, and that's what happened.
And now it's basketball season.
I'm manipulated. Easily manipulated.
But either way, like 1-4. We said before the season started, this is a really tough schedule. If they can just weather the storm. And then it was, well, why? We had these conversations that week. Why are we starting Joe Flacco? We didn't get a huge debate over it at the time because we were hearing Shedeur's not remotely close. And none of us really liked Dylan Gabriel all that much. And then Kenny Pickett was sent away because of the injury. And then the news started trickling out like, oh, no, Kenny Pickett, there's a reason that was the first guy they picked up. They really wanted Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett was the guy that was going to start. I know there were also like Kirk Cousins rumors. Although, like, salary-wise, they really didn't have any money under the cap, so I don't even know how they would have pulled that off. Maybe some gymnastics. But then when that pipe dream died, then it was, well, Kenny Pickett. All right, that makes sense. Well, then the hamstring injury came. And so now we have this weird quarterback competition. We're divvying up the reps. We're running 3 football fields. We can't really get a straight answer on if it's a fair competition or it's not. Then we found out through their actual behavior it is not a fair competition whatsoever. It's actually 2 guys starting for the starting job. And then that wasn't a competition because of what happened with Kenny Pickett's injury. And then you had Shedeur and Dillon battling it out, where Dillon was apparently way ahead to start out anyway in the minds of the Browns. That leads us to now. As of yesterday on the depth chart, Shedeur was the backup. I know what you said about Bailey Zappi. We'll find out. But you've had...
Guys, I don't like saying it, for the record.
You've had Shedeur basically go from 4-string to backup on paper, doing what? The extra 10 reps at the end of practice?
Throwing balls to wide receivers at Baldwin Wallace?
Yeah.
Almost called Balding Walrus because of the nickname. Sorry, folks.
So it's not like, fine, Shedeur's put in the work that he's been able to put in, but these practices have been about getting Joe Flacco ready to win games, and then last week it was about getting Dylan Gabriel to win games. So now the starting job, it's Dylan Gabriel's, but for how long? We don't really necessarily know. We do get to see Joe Flacco on Thanksgiving now, so that's exciting. And then, do you think there's a chance in hell that Week 18, the Bengals versus the Browns, do you think we'll see Joe Flacco? Probably not.
Who knows? Why would I be surprised?
I don't know. It's just...
I don't know how Joe Burrow's toe's going to do.
That's true. That's
Somebody
a good point.
said it was completely separated off the... God, that sounds awful. Who knows?
Maybe him and Dion are seeing the same doctor. Either way, so we are to the point of the season, 5 weeks in, where most important position in sports is the quarterback, and it looks like the Browns and the Brain Trust, and even if they got it right with this rookie class, it almost makes me think they backed into it. Like, what's the process? If this is the process for the most important position in sports, what is your process?
I want to actually see,
and down?
Can we leak new guardrails? Because I need to see some sort of a plan. I got to see some sort of a plan, because it's just turned to it shall present itself. Like, we're just going to exist, and then by the end of the season, there will be something there. I don't know, guys. I really wish. 216-474-0092. If you have a plan for any of this, fine. Can I tell you this?
Maybe
though?
The plan is just they hope Dylan Gabriel takes off.
For we've spent the first 2 days of this show ripping Kevin Stefanski after that game, and there's been a lot of people going, finally you guys have seen the light. And I'm like, hey guys, I understand. This is what you're going to have to become a football guy here, and not just Browns fans. You're going to have to be a guy who observes the league. And I know that a lot of you do already, so I'm not trying to call anybody out or tell everybody to get on the ground, anything like that. You're going to want to really observe what's going on in Cincinnati, because they clearly think, and you played that clip, was that Judy Batista?
Correct.
Okay, they clearly think he's out of gas. So I'm going to tell you right now, what do we all think of Zach Taylor?
Yeah,
Not much. What do we think of the offensive line of the Cincinnati Bengals? I mean, at one point on Sunday, Jamar Chase had more tackles than he did receptions. If Joe Flacco goes down there, who this team thinks is out of gas, and he plays any modicum of passable football and they can win, which he does, he would already have 2 way better weapons than anything he has here. That's granted, fair. If he goes down there and plays a modicum of good football, not just even passable, because like Dylan was passable and did fine, and I have hope that Dylan can be a 10-year guy in this league. I don't know about starter, but you get what I'm saying. If he plays a modicum of good football, that's just another thing that the anti-Stefanski crowd can use and say, guys, look, you call him a QB guru. You have Old Man River down there, literally on the river now, playing well. So you can watch the Bengals, and if Joe does well, there you go. There's more evidence. These guys don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, he's not allowed.
There's more evidence. The offensive guru ain't no guru.
He can't be good. He can't be good. If he's good there, then this is even a bigger mess than we are thinking.
We went from watching the Browns and the Jaguars to now the Browns, Jaguars, and Bengals, and I think a lot of people are paying attention to a particular team in the NFC South as well. So, guys, we got a lot of football. You think just because the Browns are 1-4, we're done watching football? You got more football than you ever thought you could watch. Bring out the all 22, guys, because we're all football guys now. And hell, I may trust y'all more than what the guys are actually doing it are doing. Holy Toledo. Good for Joe, I guess.